And I'm back. More Spirit of Justice. Trucy's magic shell went kaput, and now she's on charge for accidentally murdering a guy. So Apollo and Athena are going to go to the theater and make sure that's not going to happen. Theater. Stage. Okay, I have an idea of where I want to get to in this episode. We'll see what happens. Also, get ready for a returning character that I'm happy to see. Person you're trying to call is not available. After the tone, please. I've tried calling him 100 times now. He never picks up. We've left him some voicemails, so he'll probably call once he gets them. He's gonna flip out when he hears what happens to Trucy. Hey, this is the place. The theater where that magical murder happened. Oh yeah? Wonder if they brought the dead body out yet. Sure, they already arrested the murderer. Says a young girl. High school student. Can you believe it? Kids these days. What's with all the curious bystanders? Sure are kicking up a fuss. How dare they call Trucy a murderer? They've got some nerve! Can't let people think like that. We can't let people think that about her. We have to defend her. Apollo? Is that you? Yeah, she's back! Emma? Sure been a while. How have you been? I can't complain. Haven't seen you in ages. I know, you got replaced by some bumbling idiot / serial phantom spy dude last game. Emma's usually not in the best of moods. So I never quite know what to say or do around her. Well, we have some business to take care of, so we better get going. Hey, wait a minute! What? Was it something I said? You're darn right it's something you said! What's with you brushing me off like that? We got heaps to catch up on. After all we've been through, you're not still mad at me with something, are you? Oh, yeah, she's got the grumpy face. Love it. I didn't mean to upset you. Who's this, Apollo? Your girlfriend? No! Oh, Apollo wishes he were so lucky. Anyway, a distant cousin or something? No, Emma's a detective I had the pleasure of working with before. Yeah! Hello, I'm Emma Skye, forensic investigator. What? You're finally a full-fledged forensic investigator? Yeah! Finally achieved my lifelong dream. Look, got an official forensic investigator armband and everything. That's great! Bet the exam was really hard, huh? Oh, it was a cinch. Because I thought you said something about failing it over and over. Well, never mind that. Important thing is I'm not a plain old detective anymore. So no more boring old investigations from me. I'm so happy I could hug the whole world. Coming from you, that's really something. Criminals beware. Haha! Fingerprinting, luminol testing, DNA analysis, Emma Skye is rare to go, so bring it on! Hell yeah! Well, guess it's goodbye grumpy clouds, hello fanatical sun. Now she's got her snackies ready for some reason. She's very cheerful, isn't she? Is it because of the weather or something? Sure wasn't like this before. She was pretty frustrated back when she was assigned to criminal affairs. She was always munching on chocolate snackoos. Snackoos and stress are a thing of the past. I've said goodbye to both of them, sure. I'll believe that when I see it. May you never have to see either again. By the way, are you two here because of the murder? Murder? Don't you mean the accident? No. Guess you haven't heard. The case is being treated as a straight-up homicide now. What? Just so you know, I've heard that the prosecution is going to argue that Trucy outright murdered Mr. Rios. What? Are you kidding? They're treating it like a murder? Emma, please tell us everything you know. Of course. Anything to help Trucy. Why is this case being treated like a homicide and not involuntary manslaughter? Well, apparently, there's something that proves it was a straight-up homicide. Well, that's vague, isn't it? Do you have any details? No. I'm afraid that's all I was told. How come? Well, because the lead prosecutor is kind of a hard guy to read. Maybe it's just a culture gap thing? Anyway, he's not one to really share his thoughts. Hey, what do you mean by culture gap? I mean, he's a foreigner, so his way of going about things is different. Who exactly am I up against tomorrow? Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth's been reorganizing the prosecutor's office lately. As part of that effort, he's gotten rid of a lot of corrupt prosecutors. So the prosecutor's office is looking pretty empty. And that's how a foreign prosecutor got assigned? That's part of it, yeah. We're so short on prosecutors, and this guy just happened to be visiting. What was the purpose of his visit? Well, some insurgents of the Kingdom of Khura'in are thought to be hiding out here. As an international prosecutor, he apparently came to investigate the matter personally. So he's from Khura'in? That's right. He's just a Khura'inist monk. A monk? So how do you get assigned to a particular case anyway? Seems he's very devoted to furthering his studies as a prosecutor. He wanted to learn how crime scenes are investigated, so he just showed up. So he's just curious, huh? He looked the entire crime scene over very earnestly. And just as everyone else was ready to call it a case of involuntary manslaughter, this is most certainly a murder. The cruel act of an impure soul. That's what he said. And just like that, he volunteered himself as the prosecutor. The shortage of prosecutors right now, the office was glad to have him. So Trucy was arrested for murder all on a guy's hunch? I have to say, he's definitely not your typical prosecutor. Yeah, he's very boring and dumb. Well, not dumb, it's just... you'll see. He says court is where a victim receives their last rites. Where the truth is revealed, the criminal judged, and the victim's soul sees salvation. Receiving last rites in court allows the victim to finally rest in peace. So he claims. So to him, a trial is like performing funeral rites for the victim. And it's certainly a unique way of looking at things. Well, have you seen the Kingdom of Khura'in? That's basically what they're doing. You're presumed guilty pretty much as a fact. And yeah. And given the Japanese system of pretty much having a 99% conviction rate, yeah, I would say both systems are pretty accurate. His name is Nayuda Sadmati. Nayuda Sadmati? That's right. Well, do you know him or something? I guess you could say I've heard of him. Well, he is pretty famous. Really? Yes. They say he travels the world solving difficult case after difficult case. Where there's a hard case to crack, he's called in to prosecute. Sounds like he's gonna be tough to beat. Can't believe this. I have to stand in court against him? Seems like a very kind and gentle person, though. He's very polite and understanding to everyone he talks to. So he's a pretty agreeable guy, then. Yeah, he's bound to see what kind of person Trucy really is. But don't they hate defense attorneys in Khura'in? Would he even listen to what we have to say? I don't see why not. Certainly seems like the type of person who would. Even so, do you think you could do us a favor? Could you tell Prosecutor Sadmati about Trucy? About what a good person she is? Of course! Leave it to me! I'll make him understand that there's no way Trucy could have committed murder. I hope he listens to reason. Me too. Congrats on becoming a forensic investigator like you always wanted to be. Thank you. I failed that exam so many times, but I finally did it. Finally use my forensics kit openly whenever I want. Oh yeah, I used to just have to stealth use a way to get your way. Well, I still use that one. But now, it's more of a hobby kit. It's important to have hobbies too, you know. So basically, nothing's changed. Are you kidding? I don't have to worry about getting in trouble for taking fingerprints now. It's positively life-changing. I can take all the prints I want. Are you sure you're allowed to do that? Sure, I'm sure. I'm collecting all the prints I've taken into a personal database. Now hold out your hands. I need to get your prints too. Just promise me you won't use them for evil. I can't believe she took my prints too. This is looking pretty bad. They're calling it a murder. You've even got proof. What are we gonna do? Look on the bright side, that's what. Bright side? What bright side? Well, that's the thing about there being proof, is that it's got to point to the real killer. If we can find out who that is, we can prove Trucy's innocence. Oh! Hey, you're right. This means our objectives are clear. We have to find two things: proof of Trucy's innocence, and evidence of the true culprit's identity. You know what? You're starting to give me a glimmer of hope. And then that means there's only one thing to do. Emma, would it be alright if we investigate the scene? If I said no, you just do it behind my back anyway, right? Would I do something like that? Jig's up. Oh, alright, but I'd better come along. Who knows what sort of mistakes you'll get, sort of mischief you'll get up to if I'm not there to keep an eye on you. Mischief? Sounds like Emma trusts you about as far as she can throw you. He has been known to move things around at a crime scene, you know. He also let a murder happen in a fucking concert when I told him to stop being a dick. Anyway, what about you? You used to do all kinds of forensic tests without permission. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, forensics is always on the side of justice. How is that even remotely fair? Anyway, let's see which one. Dressing room. Okay. Also, this is the only investigation phase in this trial, or in this case. So I'm not gonna have to do day one investigation. I'm just gonna be investigating part. Dressing room looks just like the way it did before the incident. All these items look pretty kind of lonely without their owner. Gotta find Trucy's notebook. Let's see, she said it would be in her blue handbag on the table. Let's see what else we can check out while we're here. Let's see, bag, examine. Oh, here's that handbag she was looking for. I feel a little funny digging around in a girl's purse. Guess it's okay to open it. After all, she did ask us to. Not you! Let me do it! Let's see. No. What's this? Oh, wow, she is... Oh, Trucy, you're bad! What is it? I want to see. That's funny. She said it was a black notebook. There's nothing like that in here. Maybe she was wrong about where she left it? Let's keep looking around. Okay. Blue notebook. What's this? A script for the show? It says Bonnie, so it must belong to the Bonnie assistant. Let's see, you and I got to see the first two parts up to the end of 1020. This Mr. Rias's fire trick. We didn't get to see that part. Yeah, because he canceled the show right after the accident. Hey, there's a note about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket's ready. Fire bucket? Come to think of it, when Mr. Rias turned into a dragon and breathed fire, didn't it? Coin tricks and fire tricks were Mr. Rias' specialties. Maybe they had some big finale planned? Where Mr. Rias and Trucy would face off in a grand magical showdown. Interesting. Right, next is table to the left. Trucy's notebook. I see we take a look through Mr. Rias' things too. Hey, is that a notebook? You're right. It's practically screaming over here, look at me. Do you think it could be... Wow! Athena! Our hunch was right. It's Trucy's notebook. What's it doing mixed in with Mr. Rias' stuff? Good question. It's locked. I guess that means we can't read it. I wonder what kind of secrets are in there to make her want to lock it. A girl her age needs her privacy. Besides, everybody's got a secret or two they don't want people to know about. Is there anything in there about kisses and crushes? If there was anything in there about kisses or crushes, I think Mr. Wright would cry. Alright. Posters in the top left. Trucy put some posters up, I see. Oh, here's one of Troop Gramarye. Troop Gramarye, Magical Menagerie? Looks like a bunch of folks dressed in outfits too gaudy for their age, if you ask me. Isn't that pretty much how all the best magicians dress? Was Troop Gramarye really such a big deal back in the day? I guess so. Everybody in the country knew about them back then. They had great tricks. Like making a building disappear, escaping a safe dropped from a helicopter. Man, I was in Europe at the time, so I had no idea. But even if you know about them, they must have been really famous. I used to see them a lot on TV. I think it was back when I was in junior high. The one in black was the original leader, Trucy's grandfather. His name was Magnifi. The one in pink with a stash, that's Zach. Trucy's late biological father. Oh, and look, there's Mr. Rias. So this poster's back from when he was a member, huh? Trucy said she left the troupe after he was injured during a show, right? Well, we've examined just about everything, I think. Looking through other people's stuff is so thrilling. It's like I'm doing something naughty. I know what you mean. Just don't go poking around my things in the office. Why? What do you have to hide? I don't think I like how her eyes lit up all of a sudden. Anyway, we better get this notebook to Trucy. Alright, next is the stage. Yeah, next is the stage. Okay. So I'm trying to get towards backstage. When I get there, I'll be good for this episode, I think. Alright, let's get down to investigating, shall we? Make sure you don't move anything or I'll get in big trouble. Fine. Promise. To only move the things I have to. Well, I've got my own investigation to conduct, but let me know if you need anything. It's been a while since we did any investigating. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's dive right in. You do remember how to do this, right? If you don't, I can give you a quick rundown. I'm okay. It's like I played the other two games so far. Now, don't worry about me, I got it all locked away in the vault here. Good. I'm sure it'll all come back to me, too, as we go along. Wait, wasn't it you who just offered to give me a rundown? I like that. I like how they have Emma on the screen there. Alright, examine camera to the right. Examine dragon. Okay. The video camera's pointed right at the stage. I wonder what it recorded. I want to take a peek, but Emma would... Wow, this residue data is so fascinating! She's so fixated on that bloodstain data. Her eyes are getting bloodshot. Quick, Apollo! While Emma's off in forensic fantasy land! Let's see what was recorded! Doesn't look all that different. Yeah, I'm not seeing any differences. Okay, there's Mr. Hat going up there. It's Trucy coming back. Yeah, it's about the same. It's the same video we saw on TV. Apollo, did you notice a strange shadow in the footage? Oh, why? I don't think it was my imagination, but I'm pretty sure I saw it. Yeah, there's two strange shadows. This is what they call a set piece. Looks like a piece of onstage scenery. It suddenly fell down on the body after the body was revealed, if I remember correctly. Just as the brave heroine screams, the spell on the dragon breaks. Losing its wings, the dragon falls to the ground. The moment marked the collapse of her magical kingdom. Magic, huh? Yeah, sure. Timing was so perfect, I'd genuinely be surprised if it was. Okay, and the curtain. Bottom right. And boxes. Yeah, it says bottom left curtain. Wait a minute. Okay, the guide says boxes to the left and right, curtain to the bottom left. Okay, so I'm not there yet. Okay, that's not that one. This is a curtain. I wonder what's behind it. Backstage area. Magic equipment and stuff like that back there. I'll open it a crack and check it out later. You weren't thinking of opening that curtain, were you? Oh, me? Who would do such a thing? Guess I'll just ask her to open it for me later. Okay. I want to say that was that one. Examine boxes left and right. I've seen something like this before. It's like that game where you stick swords into a barrel until a little man pops up. That doesn't sound like any game I've ever heard of. Really? Pretty famous in Europe. Did you have anything to play with as a kid? You know, us simple, stupid Americans are just happy with a hoop on a stick. I guess that wasn't right. Okay. Sure. Okay, turn right, examine sword. Okay. There's a sword here. It's covered in blood. Must be the murder weapon. Trucy said she was sure she switched it out with the rubber sword. Of course, this one certainly doesn't look like it's made of rubber. Hey, Emma, were there any fingerprints on the sword? Let's see. According to my data, no prints were found. This could have been because the culprit wiped them off. Come to think of it, she was wearing gloves during the show, so she certainly wouldn't have left any prints either. Something isn't right. Just doesn't make any sense. What's the matter, Apollo? You're making that weird thinking face again. How did what should have been a rubber sword get switched with a metal one? The timing of that dragon set piece falling down. Wasn't that just a little too convenient? Something just isn't sitting right. Ground control to Major Apollo. Can you hear me, Major Apollo? Athena! I think I've got it. I think somebody switched Trucy's rubber sword for the metal one. Huh? To pin the murder on her. Someone switched the swords? When could they have done that? When everybody was too busy to notice. Somebody could have switched it. Let's see. Not after the piece fell. After... Oh, it was after the set piece fell. Okay. After the set piece fell, everybody in the audience was kicked out of the theater. In the ensuing chaos, somebody could have carried out a cover-up operation. Any one of the stagehands or show personnel could have done it before the police arrived. So what you're saying is... somebody's actively trying to frame Trucy for the crime? Some disgusting individual is trying to get away with murder. So is someone related to the show? There's a high chance of that. Now, if we could just figure out who it is. Okay, we got the sword. The coffin remains in the outline. Okay. So this is the coffin the dead body appeared from. I actually haven't examined that yet. Would you two mind giving me a hand? No sweat! Trucy said the coffin was supposed to be empty when she stabbed it. So how did the victim even get in there? I bet there's a secret door or something. Sure is an oddly shaped thing, isn't it? Who knew it could unfold into something like this? Well, I heard since it was used as a magic trick, the left and right panels are made to be interchangeable. How that helps with magic tricks, though, I have no idea. I'm sure they make use of it in some way that I can't even imagine. Alright, white outline, then coffin panel, coffin center. Okay. White outline, huh? So this is where the body was. What exactly did it look like just before the incident occurred, I wonder? I have a photo of the crime scene. Here you go. Oh, wow. Looks like he was stabbed in the back. Yeah, that's definitely what killed him. What's this thing around his waist? It's a stunt harness. A stunt wire can be attached to it so a person can float and fly through the air. Come to think of it, he did fly in Act 1, didn't he? Maybe he was stabbed in the back. But Trucy is stabbed from the side. Okay. So that's already fucked up. Alright, so back panel. Back left coffin panel. Apollo, look! There's a secret door in the back panel. Do you think Mr. Rias could have entered the coffin through there? He could have done it without Trucy noticing them, maybe. It's like two magicians trying to outmagic each other right under their noses. Wait a minute. Looks like the bottom of this coffin opens too. A secret door! Let's try opening it! Now look at that. Seems it leads to someplace under the stage. That's right. It goes to the understage passage. It's pitch black down there. Hold on. I think I see something glowing. It's hard to make anything out from up here. Wi-Fi connection lost, like I care. Shut up. Shut up, interweb. Interweb! Bad! Anyway, if we try to go down there, the magicians will get mad at you. Apparently there are things down there that'll give away the secret behind their tricks. Oh, that sucks. It's all right there, and we can't even check it out? Definitely gonna have to examine that understage passage at some point, though. Plop. Fingerprint, fingerprinting, yay! Let's see, what else do we need to do? Emma, did you find any fingerprints in the coffin? Actually, I haven't checked yet. I was going to do that at the end. I'd like to save the best for last. We aren't exactly talking about dessert here. Oh, but we are. Would you like to partake in my delicious dessert? I don't mind sharing. Oh, yes, please. There's always room for dessert, right? Alright, I guess I'll join you two. Could you show us how to check for prints? Yeah, sure. Start with the basics. As you know, fingerprints are an excellent way of identifying someone. It's because no two people have the same set of prints, not even twins. So if we find any prints on the coffin, they might lead us to the killer. If the culprit was dumb enough to leave prints behind, sure. Let's go ahead and dust for prints now. Let's see. This looks like a promising spot. Try dusting the area with fingerprint powder. Move the cursor around and keep pressing X until it's thoroughly covered. When you're done, blow and get rid of the excess. The powder in the bottle is all we have to work with. If you run out, try blowing on the area. Any excess powder will be returned to the bottle. You found some prints! Looks like the fingers of somebody's left hand. Let's try comparing these with the ones we have on file. Switch to Analyze mode with L1. Select the print you want to analyze and confirm. Got a pretty clear print here. Wonder whose it is. I have the prints of everyone involved in the case. Just choose the person whose prints you'd like to compare. Well, the last person who was in the coffin was... Yeah. Yay! Bingo! Looks like the prints belong to the deceased, Mr. Rias. Well, if we found prints here, maybe we can find them elsewhere in the coffin, too. Guess I'll try dusting for more. Come on. See if I found some. These prints are apparently Mr. Rias's too. Should we try looking for prints on the outside of the coffin now? This time you'll be able to rotate the coffin and look at it from different angles. This will give you a chance to examine it thoroughly. Okay. The area on the top. Okay, left and right. Okay. Okay, dust. Alright. Top finger. Fingerprints, dust, area left and right of the golden symbol. Okay. Found another one. Judging from its position, it might have been made when someone put this lid on it. Let's see. There's one part where the show when somebody puts this on after Trucy had gotten in there. So it's Bonnie's. Okay. Looks like the print belongs to that bunny girl. Come to think of it, she did put the lid on the coffin during the show. It's probably when she left her prints on the lid. Now then, I wonder if we can find any more. Okay, so that was Bonnie's. Top of the coffin, any finger. Okay. What's this? Prints from the base of the palm. I'm gonna get prints from the fingers of the thumb, so why don't you give it another try? Okay. Okay. What? There. Got one. Alright. That's funny. Doesn't match the prints of anyone involved in the case. None of them? How can that be? Looks like that's all of the prints we're going to find. To sum everything up, the prints we found, the victim, Mr. Rias, the bunny assistant, Bonnie, and some third unidentified person. That's strange. We didn't see anybody else up on their stage during the show. Does that mean some outsider was up there? unrelated? Guess we can't really say that at this point. Well, thank goodness we didn't find any of Trucy's fingerprints, right? It's only because she was wearing gloves. There's something else that's been bothering me about the prints. Don't you think there's something odd about Mr. Rios' prints? What's odd about them? Well, if Mr. Rios was standing in the coffin facing forward, he would have left prints like this, right? But when you look at the actual prints, you're facing backwards. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Hey, what do you know? You're right. I wonder how they wound up like that. Maybe he was accidentally facing the wrong way at first, but got turned around? No, the coffin's much too small for a guy his size to be turned around in. About all you would manage to do is a little bit of twisting. It really doesn't make any sense, does it? I think he might have hit on something major here. Oh, I've just one more question. Oh yeah? What is it? Mr. Rios was stabbed in the back, right? But if he was standing in the coffin like this, how did that have worked? This is something I brought up earlier. Oh, right. Let's see. The lead prosecutor has an explanation. He thought that the victim might have tried to dodge the sword as it came into the coffin. So maybe he twisted his body and the sword ended up stabbing him in the back. That's his theory, anyway. I see. I guess it sounds plausible. Yo! Well, I guess it about wraps up our investigation of the stage. Actually, there's still the area behind the curtain. Don't you want to know what's back there? Sure do, but Emma told us not to move or touch anything, remember? Would you quit staring at me? Fine, I'll go open it for you. Wow, look at you flaunting your lady killer eyes. I have my ways. It's the hair. I'm only doing this so I won't get charged with animal abuse for not throwing you a bone. I guess puppy dog eyes could be just as effective. Alright, I'll be back. Look at behind the curtain! There's a guillotine and everything. Well, go on and investigate to your heart's content before you go moving anything. I know, we'll be sure to ask first. By the way, just examine the backstage to move the area behind the curtain. Alright, let's go investigate. Okay, so I'll save it here. And we'll check out backstage next time. Yay!